The teller. The teller. The teller.
It's another day. Left jab, right jab. This is MMA. Mixed martial arts, quick body parts. Undefeated when I pick 'em. Who the champ, who the victim? Looking in my crystal ball, I predict the winner. Never stop fighting. If you lose, keep your chin up. Know how the game go. I'm a smart fella. Welcome to the show. This the MMA fortune teller.
The MMA fortune teller.
The teller. The teller. The teller.
What's up, you guys? MMA Live Discussion, episode 29. We got Christos Giagos, the Spartan. He's going to be joining us here in a minute. For those of you guys that remember, we had him on MMA Live Discussion way back in the day. We had him on MMA Live Discussion episode 6, I believe it was. And, he's coming off a big win where he pretty much dominated Carlton Manus, the tough Alaskan kid. So we're going to have him joining us here in a minute, and it'll be cool if you guys have any questions for him. Comment below. I'll make sure I get it to him, and he's actually going to be joining us right now. Let's see. What's up, Padilla? What's up, Christos?
Hey, what's going on, Dorian?
What's up, brother? How you been?
Chilling. Just got done with some clients and some training this morning, and yeah, just hanging out now. Got the rest of the day free.
I was just telling everybody, it's crazy. We had you back on the show. I think it was like 8 months ago or so. MMA Live episode 6, and it's funny thinking about back talking to you then. A lot's happened since then. Obviously, you're coming off a big win. How's everything been? How's everything been for you?
Everything's been going good. I was so happy I got to squeeze a fight in at the last minute of 2020. So it kind of put the cherry up on the top of that year for me. But now I'm happy that I got to enjoy the holidays with my family and just kind of spend time, with my fiance and kind of help prep for the wedding upcoming, and just living life good.
That's your wedding that's coming up?
Yeah. So because of COVID, we had to postpone our original date, April 17th, which is our 7-year anniversary. And so they can't give us no answers. So I was like, I'm not gonna send out invites and do all that. So we postponed it to October 2nd. So hopefully things start opening up. Texas, there's some Mississippi, there's some states, opening up. So hopefully California is not too long away. But but we're still gonna get married April 17th. Keep our original date. So we're gonna go to Joshua Tree and get eloped, a little small thing with our parents, and yeah.
So not the typical big Greek wedding, huh? But hundreds.
No. But I'm gonna have a lot of Greeks at the one in October. Yes, and we're gonna play Greek music and
awesome.
kind of play Hispanic music for my fiance, and
awesome.
I kind of have like a little mixed American, Mexican, Puerto Rican, and Greek wedding all combined in one.
That sounds like some fun, man. Congratulations, man, on getting engaged in the future wedding there.
Thank you.
Yeah, if we could, though, I wanted to talk a little bit more about that last fight. You took that fight on, 3 days' notice? Right? You go in there. What was it like when you got that call and you're like, okay, this is real. I'm about to step in the octagon on 3 days' notice. Were you fully prepared? How were you feeling?
I was in the middle of actually like looking, like I was training, like I had a fight at the time, kinda. I was, doing long runs, like 10-mile runs, and I was training a lot of jiu-jitsu. I was in the midst of kind of looking for my striking coach, and the guy I was working with was kind of out with like Brian Ortega and Anderson Silva when they fought during that time. So I'm just like doing a lot of grappling and running, and I was getting some like really like record-breaking times in my runs. My jiu-jitsu is feeling good. And so Jason calls me, and my manager, and asked me if I would want to fight this Saturday, and it's Wednesday. And I was like, crap. But he said, before you say anything, like, listen, like, you're gonna mop this kid up. He lacks, his ground game isn't on par with mine, not nearly, you know. And I have good wrestling, and I have good striking too. So, and I saw striking, and he's good, you know, he's good technique. But I was like, I didn't feel like I would be in danger, and I knew I could beat this kid. Obviously, I would like a longer camp, but I didn't want to miss an opportunity that I knew I can capitalize on. And I knew if I didn't take it, I would regret it. And, you know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So mentally, I needed to do it. And, you know, I went out there and performed. And I knew it'd be a good story. You know what I mean? And I went in there like, all right, you know, look, if I lose a fight, taking 3 days notice, people will understand. So I was in like a win-win situation, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I can say this much, you know, before the fight, I was calling the family members up, even some of my family that doesn't watch too much fighting. I was like, we got a fellow Greek stepping in there. Make sure you check out the fight. I think it was the first fight of the card, right? I think it was.
Yeah, the very first fight of the card.
Yeah, and
I love being the first fight. You just get in and get out.
This way you could enjoy the other fights too, right? You're done.
Exactly. Yeah.
And in that fight too, right? Taking that fight on 3 days' notice, you know, one of the judges, I think it was Sal Diamato. I mean, he scored at 36. I mean, so pretty much straight domination. You know, really. I mean, full control. You went in there, like you said, your wrestling was ready to go. I mean, you were pretty much mopping him on the floor, right? I mean, you were controlling him.
Yeah.
So
I'm just a little bummed out because. So go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was saying I was just a little bummed out because obviously, you know, there were finishes that were there, and the head and arm choke was definitely there, and everyone keeps talking about it. That choke specifically, I was never a high success rate. I would get them sometimes and then end up like squeezing too hard and not getting them sometimes. So knowing I took the fight on 3 days notice, I was like, I can't squeeze my arms right now. I don't want to risk it because I got to conserve my energy and make sure I get through this damn thing. So now I've worked on that choke a lot, and I'm very confident I can finish that choke. So I won't make that mistake again, you know?
Yeah. That's definitely like talking about how you took that fight on 3 days notice, though. You know, that's something that people have to take into consideration too. You know, I'm sure you were aware that like DC and Bisping, you know, they were with the commentary saying about how, you know, they were kind of hard on you about going for the finish, this and that. But again, you know, you got to put things into perspective as well. You know how things are.
Yeah, they backed me up though after that. Bisping, he's like, come on, dude. He was like, just took his fight on 72 hours notice.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm just being hard on him.
Exactly.
So
and
cool.
So that's three wins out of your last 4 fights, I believe. Right? I think 3 of your last 4 fights. So you got the ball really rolling right now.
And that one loss, you know, controversial, but
it
was close fight.
That was
close
against close, right? Yeah, the Jakar close fight. Yes, very close fight as well. And Close is a tough customer too, right? So,
yeah. Very tough.
And then even your other loss before that, right, to Charles Oliveira, a guy that's about to be probably fighting for the belt. I think he should be. I think he should be the champion right now. Really, he should be fighting.
Yeah. He's tearing it up right now, man. He's I think I'm like the only guy that like won around with him. In the fucking,
Yep. The first round, right? The first round. Yeah.
Yeah, first round. I definitely took that round, and I was doing very well. And it's just kind of knowing I'm not supposed to go to the ground. I panicked a little bit and kind of just gave it up. So,
and those are all learning experiences, right? That's what the game is all about, right? Wins,
exactly. And thankfully, I'm able to do that. Is like, you know, obviously losing sucks, but I can sit and dwell, or I can be like, okay, what I do wrong? How can I fix it? Let's keep the ball rolling, you know? Yeah,
exactly, man. So, like we said, 3 of the last 4. I have a feeling that there's something big on the horizon for you, man.
Yes. So
maybe is there a fight coming up?
I just got the call. I am fighting May 15th. Can't really announce the opponent yet. I don't want to be that guy. My management doesn't like that. They want them to post it first. So I'll wait patiently. But he's tough, good striking, good jiu-jitsu. And he's, it's going to be a good fight. I think he's like I think 3-1, 4-1 UFC, something like that, or
Okay.
something like that. I don't know. And yeah, it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a scrap for sure.
Yeah, and that's coming
by
up.
tonight,
No, you said May 15th.
May 15th. Yes.
Okay. So yeah,
My boy Alex Perez is fighting on that card as well.
Okay. Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, he's fighting Matt Schnell, I believe, right? I think he's taking.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's gonna be a good fight there in the flyweight division, right?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, so we're definitely putting that on the calendar, man. We can't wait to hear who the opponent's gonna be. How about what's up with the tattoo? I see on Instagram you're getting the back piece finished up or what?
Yeah, well, not finished up. I decided to just blast my whole back. There's this idea I had when I first started getting tattoos, and that was I saved this arm specifically for that. But thinking about what I wanted, I was like, I don't know if there's enough room on the arm. So I was like, I want to do my back, but I have like a Greek flag on one side and I have another one here. So I was like, that's going to be in the way. So I decided to get my Greek flag lasered off, and we were able to fit it in. And it's basically the three Greek god brothers, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. And like Zeus is going to be at the top in the middle holding lightning bolt. Poseidon's he's gonna go right on top of the one I just got, which is like a big wave of water and the big old kraken coming out.
Yeah.
And then on this side I got Cerberus already done, and above that is gonna be Hades holding him with like a chain kind of. And yeah, just like an idea I had always I wanted to do, and my arm's not big enough.
Yeah, I like it, man. I like it. Can I ask you real quick, because I had this issue once with the Instagram Live. Is my audio okay, or do I sound kind of low?
You sound good. No, I can definitely hear you for sure.
All right, because I saw somebody comment. They said something about the sound, but I can hear you fine. And I just had that issue once in the past, so I just wanted to make sure.
There was just a couple of times where like I think the internet was low and it was skippy a bit, but that's about it. Gotcha.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think what else, man. I'm really excited about your fight. I seen you've been doing a little bit of traveling, no? A little bit of traveling.
Yeah. So, me and my fiance just got back from Indiana. I totally forgot about that. Everyone's like, "Why are you going to Indiana?"
Yeah.
But she did an internship for a huge job, and there's a girl who was her roommate that lives out in Indiana, and we have a goal to hit all 50 states, and so I was like, all right, let's go to Indiana. So every Christmas, I buy her an experience, and it's like a trip somewhere. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
So that's pretty cool.
You want to hit up all 50 states, huh?
Yeah. That's the goal. I want to. I mean, I live here. I want to just see how every state kind of lives in a way. Obviously, I can't go to every city in every state, but I just go to the state. After they go to the state, then I'll probably maybe switch to some cities, places I haven't gone.
Maybe you invest in an RV, huh? Maybe a nice RV.
I wouldn't mind that, actually.
Yeah.
That's I definitely am down for like to be on the road and kind of travel. That would be definitely on the bucket. That's on the bucket list.
A bunch of states in one trip. You swing through a bunch of states.
Yeah. So I'm just chilling, enjoying life, and excited for the fights this Saturday.
Yeah, UFC 259, right? We got a big card. Any opinions on some of these big fights? How about the Piotr Jan fight versus Sterling, and then whatever other fights you want to talk about?
Yeah, all of them are good. Wait, Dominic Cruz is fighting, yeah.
Yeah, Cruz is fighting Casey Kenney.
Casey Kenney, yeah. I'm excited for that one because I've seen Casey Kenney just because I was at the LFA fight when he knocked out my boy Vince, and he's just been on a big rise since then. So it's very cool to watch, and so I'm interested in that fight. Obviously, that Amanda Nunes one's interesting. The girl's pretty tall, Megan. And the Peter Yan fight, that's the fight. Interesting because Sterling moves a lot, but I don't know. Yan's just a monster, man. So, but I'm most excited for the main event is the Asanya and sorry, I can't even pronounce that dude's name.
Yeah, Djokovic. Yeah. How do you feel about that fight? And if you can you tell us some of your insight as far as being a fighter? How do you feel about the size difference and how much of a factor that will play in that fight?
I'm sure it can play a big factor. Definitely when it comes to strength and for the grappling, and then obviously the power. Asanya is hard to hit, so he's gonna have to hit him, and I feel like Asanya is gonna have a big speed advantage. If he can hit him hard enough, it can definitely change the tables. And Asanya matched up very well height wise, so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting for sure. I think they're both skilled in a lot of ways. If Asanya can deal with the power, I think he'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, man, good stuff, and that's going to be a really good card. Let's see. One other thing I did want to pick your brain a little bit about is the lightweight division. Just like, because obviously that's your division, and I know at the end of the day, man, your goal is to be there, holding the belt or be right, to be at the top of the division.
Yeah. I want to break the top 15. That's a big goal. That's my goal. That's in front of me right now is just breaking the top 15. So
Okay.
I definitely think if I win this fight and one more, maybe I can, call somebody out, or maybe after this fight, who knows? Well, who knows? But I definitely want to make my way up there. The lightweight division super stacked. It's I definitely believe the most stacked division in the UFC.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, yeah, man, it's just, I don't know. You gotta fight. It's crazy because so many turns can happen because there's so much talent in the lightweight division. So, it's like you can get opportunity and then get set back a little bit. You get the opportunity, set back, and it's like I had the opportunity with Charles. If I would have beat him, it would have shot me straight up. You know what I mean? But it's like it's always just the luck of the draw, or like just time, the right decisions, the right opportunities, and just make your way up.
When you're looking at the top of the division and you're foreseeing that opportunity when you finally do get to fight for the belt, do you ever look at like some of these fighters like Khabib, and do you care much if you're like, do you want to fight a guy like Khabib, or does it really not matter who the guy is? It's about strapping the gold in your waist, or is there certain fighters that are on your checklist, that you're aiming for, you're training for every day?
I just trying to get better every day, but I would definitely love to fight any of those guys that are in the top 15. I think that'd be an honor. But yeah, if I can, Khabib, if I get there, that'd be great. But I don't really look that far ahead. I'm more looking at like more of the guys in the top 15, like the Donald Cerrones and the Tony Ferguson's, those kind of guys. But I like him. But yeah, like those guys, the guys who've been in the game for a while, I kind of want to fight like a long-time vet. That's always been something on my list. You know what I mean? I was watching the sport before I was in the UFC. Then I can, like the top guys that, when I was outside the UFC, if I can fight them while I'm in the UFC, it's like, I think that'd be a great honor. You know what I mean? And then eventually get to fighting the current, top contenders.
Definitely, man. I got you there. All right, let's see. If I don't think I did this for you the last time. I don't know. My memory is not the best, but I was going to do some quick questions for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could answer in one word or whatever, all right?
No, I'll answer how I
what do you prefer, knockout or submission?
Knockout. Always knockout.
Favorite submission? You could pull off any submission. What submission is it going to be?
The one my favorite that I do, or?
It could be anything.
The Peruvian necktie.
Peruvian necktie?
That's something I like to get, but my success rate isn't all that high.
I'm going to ask you this question. Someone's comment in the comments. Would you like to fight that YouTuber guy, the guy that fought Nate Robinson? I think he's talking about Jake Paul.
Jake Paul. I'd love to fight him because I'm sure to make a lot of money. Yeah, but
how do you feel you would fare against him?
Fairly well. I think I'd definitely beat him. I think I'd win. I know he's big, but yeah, I've been in the game a long time.
All right. And then favorite city that you would want to fight in? Favorite city in the world? You could fight in any city.
In the world, Greece.
Greece.
I want to fight in Greece.
Maybe
Mykonos, Santorini, or Athens would be cool.
That would be,
Imagine if they put the cage like by like the Parthenon or like Colosseum or something like that. Like that'd be cool.
That would be crazy, right? Or imagine they put it up by like Mount Olympus. Like, You know what I mean? Imagine up there. I think
Yeah,
people would
but
be gassing out though.
on the high altitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, fighting in Greece is probably like the biggest dream I have.
Yeah, yeah. You know, now thinking about that, talking with you, you know, that's something I do want to talk to you about actually real quick. When do you think that we'll ever see a UFC in Greece? You think it's still down the road? I mean, how many years you think?
I don't know. It depends how, like, if the UFC keeps growing like it is, I'm sure it'll definitely happen. I think it's just not happening now because there's not a whole lot of Greek fighters, you know,
Yeah.
that are in the UFC. There's like me, and then one of them just got cut. The other Spartan.
Was it
Elliot-
Andreas Michaelides?
No.
Um,
His name. His long hair. The
oh,
Spartan.
Elias Theodoro?
Elias.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Elias.
yeah. Yep.
So he got cut, and then another guy UFC, I forgot his name, but
Yeah.
he got cut like right off the back. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, there's not many fighters, but maybe if a couple more Greek fighters can make it, and it'd be definitely an interest, I'm sure.
Any chance in your next fight we see the Greek flag come out with the Greek fight kit or what?
I don't know about the Greek fight kit. I don't know if I can do that, but
Yeah.
definitely the Greek flag. I have the flag here. I left it my last fight. It was so in a rush, 3 days notice, but this time I want to walk out with it. I know everyone keeps asking me, and I definitely want to do it. So
Awesome.
yeah, I think the next fight is gonna happen. Yeah.
All right.
Fight.
I know we'll be excited, man. Trust me. Me and my family will be watching. We'll be looking at that, and we'll be looking for you to get up maybe a first round knockout or sub. We'll be rooting you on.
That's what I'm hoping for.
And I appreciate you giving me the time as always. Is there anything you want to let the fans know that's watching this? You want to let them know something or the message to everybody?
Just if you guys enjoy watching fights, tune in May 15th. I promise you it's going to be a banger.
There we go. Christos, I appreciate you, brother, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Peace, bro. There we go. Christos Giagos. That's the second time that he's joined me here on the show. I really do like catching up with him, man. I really enjoyed that. Obviously, a lot of you guys know, I have Greek heritage, so I do have a little a thing that I root for my Greek fighters. Obviously he is one of them. And I think he's a damn good fighter, too. Like I said, won 3 of his last 4 fights. He has a fight coming up in May. I can't wait to find out who the opponent was or the opponent is. I was hoping maybe he would give us a little sneak peek there. But I didn't want to, pressure him. I know how those things go, management and stuff. They want to announce that the right way, how they do things. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'll definitely be posting that here on Instagram. When we find out who he's fighting, I'll put that up on the story. And other than that, I guess I want to talk a little bit about UFC 259 real quick. UFC 259, we got 3 excellent fights at the top of the card. What's up with you guys? Who do you guys have winning the main event? Jan Blachowicz taking on Israel Adesanya. I've been messing around on Instagram with some of you guys talking about that fight. I know there's some big Izzy supporters. I think that Blachowicz is a real live dog here. I think that the power in his hands, but also the power in regards to the grappling could play a big factor. I think Jan is a big boy. I know Izzy stacks up height-wise with him, but we'll see how things play out. It's in the smaller cage. I really want to see Jan try to make this a dog fight. I want to see him make this a fight that was similar to the Kelvin Gastelum fight, maybe. A fight that both guys are tagging each other, and you're testing both guys' chins and their power. And I think that's where Jan could really strive. I think that if they're both touching each other back and forth, I think Jan's power is going to be a little bit more. And I think Jan's going to be able to take a shot a little bit better. But you got to watch Izzy's precision and speed, because he's obviously no joke there. The precision is almost second to none. I mean, you saw the placement in the Robert Whittaker fight. In the Robert Whittaker fight, I mean, he landed a beautiful counter hook. You got to be careful if you're just charging in. And I think that Jan needs to be careful if that's his game plan. You don't want to just storm in there. You got to be patient. It's a 5-round fight. I would like to see him mix in the grappling, the wrestling, and whatnot. But I'm gonna edge Jan. Those of you guys that saw my fight prediction video on YouTube, I am I am siding with Jan in the fight. I think there's more value on that line, and yeah, I like the size there. He is the light heavyweight champ. Other than that, we got Amanda Nunes taking on Megan Anderson. I won't talk too much about that. Obviously, Nunes is almost what, a minus 1,100 favorite right now, depending on where you're looking at it. She should come through. She should handle business. She'll be a lot sharper and quicker to the kick and the punch. And Megan's long. She's rangy. But in my opinion, she's a little slow and a little clumsy in there at times. So, Nunes is going to show up, I think. What you thinking of the Rakic-Thiago Santos fight? I'm very high on Alexander Rakic. I think Rakic is a super athlete. I think he's a big boy. I think he has the touch of death. If he touches you in the right spot, even in an awkward type of hit, he'll put you out. I think that he's showing new wrinkles in his game too. We saw him in the last fight using his grappling, which I think that he's going to start to really, show some different elements in his game. Thiago Santos is a guy that's still kind of bouncing back from those knee surgeries or the knee surgery. And you saw in the Glover fight, he was really hesitant to put any type of weight down on his knee. I wouldn't be surprised if Rakic goes in there and actually gets some takedowns against Santos. Remember, I told you that. Watch the grappling and watch the ground and pound of Rakic. Very high in Rakic. The line ain't that bad either, huh? So it looks like some of you guys agree. I see Rakic by points. Yes, you guys know what I'm talking about the wrestling too. So, and then I got to talk about this fight right here. Petr Yan, however you want to say it, Petr Yan, taking on Aljamain Sterling, Aljo. This is a fight that I'm probably most excited for besides any fight on this card, and that's saying a lot. The Yan Izzy fight, the Dober versus Islam Makhachev, the Rakic Santos fight, we just talked about that too. I just think that this guy Yan has something, man. Petr Yan, I think that he has this type of ferociousness and tenacity, the way he marches forward and he just continues to come. I love his striking. I like it. His striking style it's very pleasing to watch. He's just relentless. He's not going to take a back step. Very, very tight with his skills there. Knows how to grapple as well. This isn't a guy that you're going to just take down and then, keep him on the mat, laying on his back so he's not able to showcase those striking skills. This guy is a complete fighter. He's the champion of the world. And then you got a guy in Aljamain Sterling that just went out there recently and took Corey Sandhagen down and submitted him within seconds. Obviously, you got the Matt Serra jiu-jitsu behind him. Matt Serra, one of the best jiu-jitsu coaches in the game. And Aljo submitting Corey Sandhagen the way that he did, I think that says a lot because Corey Sandhagen's no joke. And you see him in there throwing flying knees against Frankie Edgar and this and that, but it's not even just his striking. If you guys know about Corey Sandhagen, you guys know that his grappling is actually very, very legit as well. So what Aljo just did, can Aljo come out and can he rear naked choke Yan like that? I don't know. I think it's more likely that Yan makes this fight a real fight, that the fight takes place on the feet for an extended period of time, and we see Petr Yan start to break Sterling down. I think that's what we're going to see. I think the third round, the fourth round is going to start playing out, and Jan's going to keep coming forward. And the line right now is almost a pick 'em. If we look at the live line right now, Petr Yan is, it's basically a pick 'em at this point, just about, depending on what book you're working with. So I know there's some Aljo supporters out here. Let's see, what do we got? Don't go against my Long Island boy Aljo. I don't know, brother. We got to see, man. I'm on Yan there. What else we got? He's not getting Yan. We got another guy. See, a lot of Aljo supporters. Do you think the winner between Rakic and Santos will get the title fight next? I really wouldn't say that. It might be the case. I want to pull up the rankings right now, but there's some other guys that could really make a case. A guy at Magomed Ankalaev, that's a guy that, you put him in there with any of those guys you're talking about at the top, and I think that he probably wins right now. It just depends on how the UFC wants to kind of play out his little situation. I know he still needs to get more wins necessarily, but I want to look at the top of the division real quick because Santos is a guy that just lost to Teixeira, obviously still ranked very high. I know Santos is still ranked at the top of the division. Yeah, Glover's. Oh yeah, how can we forget about Glover Teixeira? Glover Teixeira is he's weighing in, I believe, for this fight. So If somebody falls out, I mean, Glover's ready to step in and fight for the belt himself. Teixeira's number 1. Santos is 2, right behind him. Dominic Reyes, I know Reyes has a fight. I believe he's fighting Yuri Prozaka, the Czech fighter. That's a big fight right there. You know, Magomed and Kalaev's right behind them. Maybe the winner of that fight's going to fight Magomed. And, you know what? I would to answer your question, I got to say Glover's next. I think that with Glover's age and whatnot, he's got to be next to go or be fighting for a title eliminator type of fight. And then other than that, Rakic gets this win. He's right there, right behind them. And then you're going to have, like I said, the, Yuri, which I think Yuri's going to win that fight. And then Yuri and then Magomed biting on their ankles right behind them. Yep. So can't get past the Aljo loss to Marlon Moraes, where he hit him with the switch kick, right? Get him with the head kick. I believe it was a head kick. But yeah, he put him to sleep, and that was a devastating knockout. That was one of those types of knockouts. That, it could affect your career long term. But it doesn't look like that's the case with Aljo as of now. Aljo's been looking good. He's been eating shots. We've seen him in some brawls recently, and we'll see how that all plays out. The light heavyweight shaping up to be a. You're leaving us hanging? You're not going to give us the end of that sentence? But I pretty much know where you're going with that. The light heavyweight division is shaping out to be very entertaining. And, the light heavyweight division has been my sleeper division for quite some time. I want to talk about this real quick. You hear me on my breakdown videos when I start talking about some of these guys. I get excited. The Alexander Rakic's, which I've been as high on him as anybody. Him and Magomed and Kalaev, Nikita Krylov too. Mark my words, Nikita Krylov is going to wreak havoc in the division coming off that loss to Magomed. He looked very good. I think he won that first round, and I think you were looking at top talent right there. I really do. I think you're talking about the top talent in the division, some of the top talent. And so don't be too hard on Krylov because Magomed is something else. So watch Nikita Krylov. That's another guy I've been talking about. Johnny Walker. You guys know how I feel about Johnny Walker, and an exciting fighter. Needs to polish up his game, though, with the grappling because he won't be able to handle those other guys at the top, with the grappling, in my opinion. And he needs to work on his cardio. He goes for flashy stuff, but still an exciting fighter to watch. And then the Yuri Prozak, however you want to pronounce that last name, the Yuri Prozak fighter. That guy came into the UFC, made a statement, got a nasty knockout over Volkan Ozdemir. Another guy, Volkan Ozdemir, solid fighter. There's some young talent that's trying to move its way through the ranks. Jamal Hill, we'll see how those guys go. Jimmy the Brute Crute, another guy that's a stud of a fighter. I know he has a big fight coming up too. So keep your eye on the light heavyweight division. And what else, guys? What about Keeney? I know you still like you. Let me see. Hold on a second. Oh, here we go. Let me check this out. Also, if you guys want to ask a question, I can put it right here. Cool stuff. Thoughts on Carlos Ulberg, future star? To say future star, I got to see a little bit more from him. Obviously, he has the look. He has the KO power. I mean, that's for sure. We saw him on that Dana White's Contender Series fight, got the early knockout. We know from what we hear from insiders over there, this guy has very, very legit striking. He hangs with the best of them. And I think that he'll be able to hang with anybody on the feet. I want to see some of his overall game in regards to the grappling. And for him to be a future star in the sport, though, you got to consistently win, and like I said, I got to see the grappling because if you throw him in there with these guys, some of these guys, I think that we'll see how that plays out. I don't want to speak too much on it. We got to see a little bit more. First things first, he has to win this fight this weekend. And taking on, Kennedy and Sheku, I think that he should have no problem going in there and handling business against Kennedy. Kennedy's a big boy, but, he's a little bit slower to the punch in there than a guy like Carlos. So, yeah, we'll see. Let's talk about that moving forward a little bit. Let's see it play out a little bit. I think he's 3-0 as a professional. Let's talk about Carlos when he's about 5-0, 6-0, and maybe even 7-0. And then let's get back to that question though. But good question, brother. Let's see what else we got here. I think there was a question about Keeney. Let me get. Sorry about that, Lee. What about Keeney? I know you like him. Still a questionable one for me though. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the line, it's kind of a close fight as far as what the overall perspective on that fight is. Casey, here's the thing, man. I'll tell you this much in regards to that fight. Casey has the youth on his side. I think he's coming into this fight about. I think him and Dominic Cruz both have their birthdays coming up right after this fight card. I think that Cruz is turning 36, and I think Keeney's turning 30, if I remember correctly. We're talking about 6 years of age, and we're talking about a significant point where Keeney's going into his prime. Cruz is starting to creep into the upper side of the 30s, which is the decline, especially in that division. But Cruz is one of the greatest who have ever done it. Another thing to take into consideration, Dominic Cruz, I think that Casey Keeney, since 2017, Casey Keeney has fought, I'm trying to remember exactly how many times, a lot of times. You guys can count it, whatever, 8, 9 times, maybe more, almost 10 times, a lot of times. Dominic Cruz has fought once. Dominic Cruz has one fight in a long time. So that's something to take into consideration there, man. You know, I'm a big believer in fight rust, and not if you're not active, I don't believe your skills are as sharp. I know some guys get away with it, but overall, from a betting perspective, and you're analyzing, you know, two fighters going into it, that's all we could do. We analyzed certain analytics, and I'm not a big fan of a fighter that has only fought once and forever. And then you look at the last fight, the fight that he fought, you know, he got finished early. I think that was in the second round against Cejudo. These are all things you got to take into consideration. I think Keeney shows up. Keeney has good hips, good judo, good wrestling, good power in his hands. The striking's coming around. I like Keeney there. Let's go, my man. Go get him. There we go. What's up, Chim, bro? Does Dominic Cruz retire after this fight, in your question, if he doesn't get the win? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say he shouldn't, and I'm going to say that knowing him, I don't think he does. I think he would at least step back in there for one more fight. I think that he would try to go out in a victory, and especially because he was robbed of so much fighting with his knees and whatnot. And you know, I think he says he's feeling pretty good. So I think he goes back in there again. I think he gets at least one more victory before it's all said and done. But I don't know if Casey's the guy he goes in there and does that against. I think Casey's one of the more underrated guys in the division. So he might want to be careful. You know, not that he would think that, but if he thinks he's going in there getting an easy victory, I think he knows what's in front of him. But Keith ain't no referring prelims on God. BTS, they're the best. Cruz gonna do alcohol test on the ref. Oh, you're talking about Keith Peterson. Yeah. You know, I don't know, man. I don't know if that necessarily was an early stoppage. You know, personally, I think that Cejudo was landing some solid shots there. But yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. I don't think that that no nonsense Keith is gonna be reffing that fight. You don't like Askar, also has the youth. No, you know what? I don't want to say that I don't like Askar. I do like him a lot. And good point, because there's a lot of correlations to the Joseph Benavidez versus Askar fight. A lot of correlations in that Keeney versus Cruz fight. The only difference is I'm not necessarily as high on Askar as I am on Keeney. I still think that Askar is very legit. I think he's shown a lot. Need to see a little bit more from him. But let's not forget, when Joseph Benavidez isn't fighting for a belt, he doesn't lose often. He just doesn't lose fights often when it's not for the belt. Joseph Benavidez is a very, very skilled guy, very well-rounded guy. And I've been seeing a lot of stuff coming out that he's very motivated for this fight. He's found his love for the fight game again. He feels good. He's not in any type of mindset where he's thinking about retiring, in my opinion, from what I've seen. I like Benavidez, man. And I think as long as Benavidez doesn't get caught with the shot, I think he wins a decision. Or maybe he gets a finish. Most likely not. Probably a decision there. Who has the best ground game in the light heavyweight division? Good question. The best ground game in the light heavyweight division. Let's see. I'm trying to think. It's funny because when you say that, you take a look at the top 15. not a lot of grappling specialists. A lot of guys that like to do their work on the feet there. So I'm looking at the top 15, and even if you look at the top 15 from a grappling perspective, who's the best grappler in the top 15? Who do I believe is the best grappler in the top 15? Not a lot of guys really stand out to me, to be honest. I know Jimmy Crute is a guy that I know is very skilled on the mat. That's a guy that not a lot of people know about. That's very, very polished with his jiu-jitsu. We've seen him go in there and control and style on guys that are bigger and stronger than him on the mat. Guys that know how to grapple as well, right? Guys like Paul Craig. Paul Craig's a very good grappler as well. I like Paul Craig's jiu-jitsu game. His wrestling, needs to be worked on and whatnot, but still, it's good. It's very good. I'm gonna go with Magomed Ankalaev. I think Magomed is the best grappler in the division. I think if there's a fighter that's gonna do something similar to what Khabib has been doing in the lightweight division and in the light heavyweight division, I think it's a guy like Magomed. I think that's a guy that will go in there and he'll rip guys down to the mat, control them, and win fights for a while like that. So to answer your question, Suave the Great. Who gets the winner of Sterling versus Jan next? So yeah, who will be fighting for the belt in the bantamweight division after that? Corey Sandhagen is the first name that comes to mind. And that's about the only name that comes to mind other than, maybe a Rob Font. But I think that Rob Font still needs one more big win. So I would probably like to see Corey Sandhagen fight Rob Font. And then the winner of that would probably be next. But if I had to pick just one person, I would like to see Corey. Because you know what? I would like to see that rematch regardless. If Aljo was to win the fight, I would like to see that rematch because we didn't really get to see that fight play out. I think you could hype that fight up in a good way. People want to see that fight play out a little bit longer. And then Corey Sandhagen versus Petr Yan, that's a whole new thing right there. Sandhagen has a crazy reach. They both like to strike. You have a different stylistic strikings, going on there. Sandhagen, the more, he's silky smooth on the feet, man. He's rangy. He switches stances. And then you got Petr Yan, just tight, nasty Muay Thai, Tiger Muay Thai coming in your face, calf kicks, power shots. I would really love to see that fight as well. I think that we would all agree on that. That would be a fight. That would be a real treat for us fight fans. Aljo and Yan. I hope Corey Sandhagen gets next. He has 2 finishes. He better be up next. Padilla knows. Let's go, Funkmaster. Aljo. I know Padilla. I know you're rooting for Funkmaster. We'll see how it plays out. I'm a big Yan fan. So, what's your favorite pick for the card? All right, I'll give you guys my favorite pick for the card. All right. I'm gonna give you. Let me see. Just to let you guys know, this fight card that's coming up, I have more official plays for this card than I've had the entire year and in a long time. Right now, I'm at six official plays. So obviously, I do like what's out there on the board. I feel very good about a lot of these picks. I think there's a lot of value out there. I think there's a lot of fights that I just feel very, very comfortable with. I feel like it's going to be a very profitable night. If I were to give you my most confident pick, I'm going to give you my most confident pick because there's 2 ways I could have went with this of what I want to give you for the weekend. But I want to give you my most confident pick, which is still not a bad line at all. You can get it at a great line right now. It's Alexander Rakic. You can easily grab him at minus 160 right now, depending on what your books are at. But that's not really a horrible line, and I feel very confident in him. I do. I think that Rakic, like I said, he's going to show you guys with the wrestling. I think he's going to show you guys with the wrestling that he's learning a lot of those skills. Santos's knee is still a little bit questionable to me with the takedown defense and whatnot. And Glover was looking really good as of recently, taking out Anthony Smith, taking out Giagos Santos. But I don't know, Glover. I don't want to disrespect him, but I think Rakic might be on a different level right now as he starts to creep into his prime. And I think that we're going to see this play out right in front of us. We're going to start to say, oh, okay. We see what's up with this guy, Rakic. This guy's a freak. You know what I mean? This guy's a freak athlete. This guy's starting to put it together. And I like Rakic. I would take that one to the bank there, lock that in. That's a big play for me. So a free play for everyone that's listening right now. I have Rakic locked in at a 5-unit play. I got him on a 5-unit play, which is it's a big bet for me. Let's see what else we got. I really like Aljo, but just think Petr will win. I'm riding with you, man. Shout out to Ireland too, man. Shout out to you, Rudy. Appreciate that, brother. Aljo Khabib's Jan, says Padilla. We'll see about that. We'll see about that. I see what you're saying, and I wouldn't say that that's I wouldn't say that that's something that can't happen in there. Aljo has really shown that his grappling is legit. Like what he did to Corey was ridiculous, but I think that Jan is very well. His skills are very well there, and I think that you'll be surprised with the takedown defense. I think he'll surprise a lot of you guys. He's going to be, stuffing those takedowns of Aljo and keeping this fight on the feet pretty comfortably. I believe that. I'm still throwing a rack on this weekend's fights in that parlay I sent you. Chicks, there we go, man. Let's make some money, brother. Raj beat the brakes off a Smith. Raj, I think with Glover? I think you're talking about Glover, but yeah, Glover. Oh, Rakic. Yeah, Rakic did too. Both of them did, right? Glover smashed Smith and Rakic smashed. Yeah, Rakic handled business there. Really handled business. Do you think all the title fights go the distance this weekend? So we got 3 title fights. I'm going to say no, definitely not all 3 of them. Because right off the rip, I'm going to say I think that the Amanda Nunes fight, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a finish in the Nunes fight. I think that Nunes is going to butcher Anderson's legs. And, Anderson, also she's susceptible to being submitted too. We've seen her submitted by Felicia Spencer. So she's only been finished twice in her career, both by submission. But I think that Nunes can either hurt her on the feet and eventually get a sub. So that's a fight that I don't necessarily see going to decision. I don't think the Jan versus Sterling fight is a lock to go to decision in the least bit. That's a fight where they're both going to be clashing. I could see a knockout for Jan easily, and Sterling could even get a finish. He could submit Jan if he's able to get it there, which I said I don't necessarily think he'll do, but it's a possibility. The Izzy versus Jan Blachowicz fight can easily end in a knockout. No question about that. They're going to be throwing heavy leather. Izzy's going to be mixing it up. I wouldn't bank on that at all. I think it's more likely we see 3 finishes than no finishes in those 3 fights. Maybe I'm pushing it, but you guys get the point. No problem, Rudy. Is going to be collecting some money at the end of Saturday night. Sean Brady, it's just Zim talks about Sean Brady. It's a good fighter to talk about. Sean Brady is undefeated. He's shown to have a lot of promise. That kid is a whiz on the mat. Striking is really coming around. That's a sleeper fight there as well. I think I'm trying to remember who he fought in his last fight again too. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, Sean Brady took Christian Aguilera with the nasty guillotine. Jake Matthews too, right? Jake Matthews. This is something that I talked about on my fight prediction for this video. Jake Matthews is a guy that's grown up in the UFC, a guy that's has so many fights inside the octagon. And then you take a look at a guy in Sean Brady who's actually older than Jake Matthews. I believe he's older by like 2 years. And Sean Brady has 3 UFC fights. So Matthews bringing in that UFC experience, but I think Brady shows up. I think Brady will be a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more crisp with the striking or the grappling. Either way that fight goes, a little bit more crisp either way. So, yeah, I like Brady there too, but I still do think that Matthews is a really competent opponent that can give Brady some trouble too, When the cage locks, anything could happen, and I think that it's always a very likely possibility that Matthews shows up and wins a fight. Why you think he pulled out in December? He's not ready for Aljo's wrestling. Nah. Thank you, Padilla. Yeah, see, she agrees too. Not going the distance. Is Sean Brady a top 10 fighter? I think so. I'll compare him right now to the top of the division. We take a look at Brady right now. Take note, like I said, 13-0, undefeated. He's 28 years old. He'll be creeping into his prime here relatively soon. And, the welterweight division is no joke, but let's take a look. One second. I'm trying to catch up to your guys' questions here. But all right, so I mean, you take a look at guys like Robbie Lawler, holding the top 15 down right there. I would side with Brady to go in there and take Lawler out right now at the different stages they are at the game. Guy in Li Jinglang, ranked number 12. I think he can go out there. I think he can get a victory over him. So, yes, I mean, I think he breaks into the top 15. There's no reason why he shouldn't. You got Kamzat Chimaev. He's a beast. He's a whole different animal. I'll tell you what, even a guy like Damian Maia, a legend in the game, ranked number 8, his time's got to come. He's up there in age. A guy like Brady can give him some big troubles too because he can keep the fight standing. He knows how to grapple. He's not going to just go in there, freak out, get subbed. And, he'll give Maia trouble on the feet. Yeah, so, yeah, he's bound to break into the top 15. And you said top 10. I'm sorry about that. Top 10. But, yeah, I think, like I said, he could break into the top 10 because he could take out guys that are in the top 10 right now. But he needs to prove a little bit more still, though, too. Maybe right in the verge of breaking into the top 10. We got to see a little bit more from him. Path to victory for Megan, if any. I think that Megan would have to really, really be able to sit on the outside and use some nasty leg kicks. All of a sudden, let's say she has some nasty leg kicks that are really quick, which they haven't looked that quick on tape to me. They need to be sharper. She is working with James Krause. Let's say she sharpens up her overall skill set. Some nasty leg kicks and straight punches down the middle. If she's really able to pump that jab, which we know James Krause has really groomed some guys that he trains, and they work the jab a lot. If she's able to do that, which I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if she was able to do that and she was able to eke out a decision, or if just one of those shots somehow clipped Nunes and put her on her rocker and she wasn't really fully there in the fight, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. Nunes is too sharp, too quick. When you break down the tape on those two girls and you see the speed difference, it's crazy. Nunes' hands you don't see a lot of fighters, in women's mixed martial arts right now that have the hand speed and the power that she has. You don't always see that. So it's really something that I admire and I enjoy watching. Yeah, chop the legs and submit her. Okay, yo. Are you going live that night at all? Maybe I will. I haven't done that in a while. Yeah, I think I will. You know what I'll probably do instead of, and I would like your guys' input as well. I think what I'll do is I'm going to start doing more live on Instagram. So what I'll probably do is I'll go live. Maybe I'll go live for the main event. It's a good point you bring up. I didn't think about that. I could just maybe go live here instead of YouTube with the whole setup and all that. And yes, I will. I'll be going live. I'll be going live on Instagram here. So catch me here for UFC 259 at some point in time on the main card, possibly even the main event. I'll be popping up live. So look for it. Would you rather see a fully focused McGregor to come back or for Khabib not to retire? If I could pick one of the two, I'd rather see a fully focused McGregor that has no ring rust and that's starting to just be, that's starting to fight normally, just, 3-4 times a year and to really get his groove again. Obviously, you guys see it behind me, man. I'm a big McGregor fan. And, the Dustin loss, to me, I know a lot of people are hating on him, but it wasn't that bad. Dustin, in my opinion, is one of the best fighters in the game. And then before that, losing to guys like Khabib, Floyd Mayweather, don't look too much into that. You saw what he did to Cowboy. I know Cowboy's a little soft at times in the first round, but McGregor will bounce back and he will get knockouts over many guys. Trust me, mark my words on that. Dober or Makachev? Makachev all day. I think the grappling will be way too much. I love Dober's stand-up. I love his Muay Thai skills, but Makachev is going to be able to get this fight down to the mat, and he wins the fight there. But if Dober can keep the fight standing, it will be a very close fight. It's kind of like the Gaethje Khabib fight. Yes. Makachev to the bank. Yep. Trying to catch up to some of your guys' comments here. Yeah, someone else asked about Dober and Makachev. I think just keep an eye on the grappling, man. Makachev he's like, when he goes in there, it's like he has super glue on him, man. He's so tight on these guys. They have no room to breathe, and he just controls them, rips them down to the mat. We've seen Dober make some mental errors in there on the mat. We've seen him submitted by Beneil Dariush. And, you know, his grappling is definitely something that still needs to be worked on. His striking, though, is nasty. I give him the edge in the feet all day. If this fight stays in the feet, I like Dober there. I just don't know if he'll be able to keep it there. But obviously he's been working on his stand-up game, you know, his takedown defense for a long time. Because remember, he came into the game as a Muay Thai champion. This guy was a nasty Muay Thai fighter. And he knew that the key to the game was to get that takedown defense going and to, you know, to work guys on the feet. Just don't know if that's going to happen. I think Team Elevation learned a lot from Gaethje. That's true, man. They have a little bit of a learning lesson there as well. Always looking forward to your live. I appreciate you, Rudy. If you could pick one upset on the card, who would your pick be? If I had to pick one upset, let's see. If I'm gonna go with a dog on this card, I'm gonna go with Kyler Phillips. That's the route I'm gonna go for letting you guys know. I think Kyler Phillips is the guy. Right now, he's right around plus 140, plus 135, and I think that fight should be closer to a pick'em. I like Kyler Phillips. I want to see Phillips try to use some of his grappling, his jiu-jitsu skills, and I think that Phillips' striking is nasty too. A lot of people are going to start to learn about that kid. Still very young, and he's a true stud in the game. So keep your eyes on Kyler, the Matrix Phillips. Yeah, Lee. What's up, Dylan? In the press conference, somebody brought up Belal Muhammad getting a title shot next. What do you think about that? I don't like that at all. I just heard that too. I just watched the press conference here a couple minutes ago. And, you know, how is that? How is Belal Muhammad getting a title shot after, I mean, I know Leon Edwards is ranked number 3. Some people are high on Edwards. Edwards hasn't fought in forever. He hasn't been active. Belal Muhammad is all the way at 13. How do you go from 13 you take out number 3 and then you're next in line? I don't like that. You got guys like Stephen Thompson out there, Colby Covington, love him or hate him, that guy's skill is at the top of the game. I really want to see that rematch for him and Usman. That was, in my opinion, the highest level of a welterweight fight that I think I've ever seen. It's right up there. There's other guys, you know, if that's the case, you know, Vincent Luque. Who's Vincent Luque fighting? Is he fighting Woodley? I'm trying to remember. I don't know if you guys remember, but I know Vincent Luque is fighting a guy in the top 15. You know, if that's the case, does he get that win and is he fighting for the belt? I didn't like that question. And when they asked that, I was like, what's going on? Dana seemed kind of confused too. Will it be a good night for the MMA lab crew? Could be. You know, we talked about Kyler pulling off a possible upset there. Who else we got? We got a couple MMA lab guys going on the fight card. Who else? We got I think what is it? Mario Batista's over there too. Yeah, Mario Batista is a guy that kid is really on the rise too. That's a guy. Yeah, he should go in there. He should handle business. So I like him to win that fight too. And yeah, it should be, man. It should definitely be. I thought McGregor won the first round versus Poirier, and I think he was too focused on boxing him, as he said about him fighting Poirier because he's a southpaw, the same as Pacman. Yeah, you know, I did think he definitely won the first round. I think he won the first round, no question. But didn't like the way he finished that fight. I think it was just a learning experience for him with the calf kicks, the ring activity, or the octagon activity. But, you know, the calf kicks are no joke. We're starting to see that in the game, man. It's absolutely no joke. And, you know, that's something that he needs to work on defending, and he needs to maybe be lighter on his feet, use the karate stance, and just go in and out and don't give Dustin any opportunities to just take the legs out. We see this time and time again. Fighters get taken out of the fight with their legs. It happened to me this past weekend with Jimmy Rivera. I had money on Jimmy Rivera. I still stand strong that Jimmy's the better fighter. You know, it's kind of a weird statement to say because he just lost, but he won the first time around. He looks better when he brings the fight. You saw the end of the third round when he comes forward, but when he's sitting there getting his legs chewed up, it took him out of the fight. And that could happen to people. You know, it could happen to fighters. I don't like them playing with that fire of the calf kick. Why is Jan such a dog? I'm telling you. Trying to catch up to some of your guys' comment. Who's winning the main event? I'm on Jan Blachowicz. What's up, Dustin? Go Knowles, baby. I don't agree with it either, but I do think Bilal has the potential to be a future champ. The thing I love about Bilal is, his tenacity on the feet, his cardio, and his relentlessness. This guy is like a Khabib with his striking. That's how I break him down when I break down his fight tape. He's like a Khabib. It's a guy that is going to give you a run for your money. He's going to be marching forward. He's not backing up. If you're going to land some heavy shots in him and hurt him, then you need to do that because he's not going to back up. His output is going to be ridiculous. And, that type of style can really take a lot of these guys out. So what's up, Chaz Raymond, who's winning the main event, Jan Blachowicz. And, yes, and I want to talk about this before I end this too. Been rolling for an hour. Padilla, Conor needs to talk shit again. That's 100% a fact. And he put out that tweet, no more Mr. Nice Guy. I hope that's the case. I don't like nice Conor. I don't feel like he fights the same. I don't think he has that edge of getting in fighters' heads. And I want to see him in there, getting in these fighters' heads, being slick with his words, and dissecting these fighters from their brain to their body, everything, dissecting them, minute by minute, and taking these guys out. I don't like that Mr. Nice Guy stuff. What's up, RLR? Shout out to RLR94. What's up, C. Bueloni, black belt from Brazil. Shout out to Brazil. That's awesome, brother. Respect to all the time you put on the mat. Much respect. Yeah, man. All right, guys. So I appreciate everybody coming in today, coming into the MMA live discussion episode 29 chat. We had Christos Giagos on earlier. If you guys missed it, I'm going to be posting this here on Instagram in a minute, and it'll also be on YouTube. And again, keep an eye on Christos Giagos. Has a fight coming up in May. Obviously I'm a little biased. He's one of my favorite fighters, being Greek and being as cool of a guy as he is, coming on 2 times now. I'll be pulling for him big. Keep an eye on him, though. Definitely a legit fighter. And shout out to you, Suave, Dylan, all you guys. I'll answer this last question, then we'll close out. Shout out to you, Lee Jones. Does Izzy stay or go back down in weight? If he goes down in middleweight, the potential fights that we have on the horizon is probably just the Marvin Vettori fight. I think the Marvin Vettori fight, maybe you do that rematch. That was a fight that was really close the first time around. I think you could market that fight because Marvin has really got some stuff going right now for him. That'd be a cool fight. I would like to see that fight play out. And I think that's a smart move, and I think that maybe that's what he'll do. I don't want to say that he's scared because he's shown that he's super tough and he wants to fight the baddest guys in the world. But if he hangs around at the light heavyweight division and has to fight guys like Magomed Ankalaev, Yuri, all those guys, Nikita Krylov, you name it, Rakic, I think it's going to be a problem for him. One of those guys is going to really hurt him. I believe that. These guys are big dudes. So I think that he could be a long-time middleweight champion. I think he should go back down there and kind of stay there. And I know eventually, maybe he wants to fight with John Jones. We'll see how that plays out. And Saran McGill, shout out to you, man, over in Ireland. Good luck to you. And enjoy the festivities, RLR. Do you think Max will get the winner of Conor versus Dustin? I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure. I don't know if I see that happening, really. I'm still high off the Cater Max fight. Yeah, Max looked really, really good. There's a couple different things they could do with Max for sure. And he said he's the best boxer in the UFC. And you got guys like Zabit moving through the ranks. Volkanovski still has the belt. Obviously Max feels like he won that fight the last time. Well, I think we'll see. We'll see what happens with that division. But, all right, guys, I appreciate every single one of you, as always. I'll say please like this video. If you're watching this later on YouTube, please subscribe. Appreciate all my Instagram followers and supporters here. You guys all have an excellent rest of your night. And I will see you guys probably live here on Instagram this Saturday night for UFC 259. Signing out, The Teller.